first grade, welcome to another week of Sentence of the Day. This week our story is called Groundhog. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at the words we're going to be using in our sentences all week. Mr. Groundhog looked at the sky, people, his snow shadow. Let's go ahead and get started. Mr. Groundhog was rolling over in his den, snoring lightly. It was warm and cozy in there, under the ground, and he dreamed about spring. Suddenly, he felt a poke and a prod. A beam of light flashed into his burrow. He groaned. It must be Groundhog Day, he thought. He stretched and waddled out of his burrow. Outside, a crowd of people gathered. They were bundled up in warm coats and scarves. Mr. Groundhog looked up. What did he look at? Well, if he looked up, he probably looked at the sky, right? I could say, Mr. Groundhog looked at the sky. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to add that to my notebook. I'm on a brand new page because we're starting a whole new week. And I'm going to start at this pink line, okay? I don't want to start all the way over. The pink line kind of is the margin. That means it tells me where to start. So I'm going to write Mr. Groundhog. Now, I know you're saying, Miss Lynn, that's not the end of the sentence. We don't need a period. Mr. is his title. And it is going to get a period beside it. It does not stand for the end of the sentence, though, okay? Mr. Groundhog looked at, and I'm getting really close to this other pink line, so I'm going to go ahead and come down to the next spot. Mr. Groundhog looked at the sky. Okay, now I'm ready to take this sentence apart. I need to separate my subject from my predicate, my who or what is my sentence about, from my telling or doing part. What is the sentence telling about the subject, or what is the subject doing? I know, I'm going to separate it after groundhog because I think that my whole sentence, the subject is Mr. Groundhog. It's all about Mr. Groundhog. So I'm going to underline that in red. Well, what is Mr. Groundhog doing? What's the predicate then? Well, it tells me he looked at the sky. So that is my predicate. I'm going to underline that with green. Now, there's two really important parts that every sentence has, no matter what. A capital at the beginning and punctuation at the end. I do have a capital right here. I also have a capital right here, even though it's not the beginning of a sentence. Do you know why I have it right there? Yeah, it's his name, and names always get capitalized. I'm only going to mark the one at the beginning of my sentence, okay? But it is important to know that it's a name, so it is going to be capitalized. And, oh, good. I do have a period at the end telling me my sentence is over. And it was just a telling sentence, so I just needed to use a period. You're probably saying, Ms. Lime, we almost always use a period. Well, it is the most common way to end a sentence. Okay, go ahead and pause the video now if you need to finish copying this down in your notebook. When you're done, add a picture of Mr. Groundhog looking up to the sky. When you're all done, take a picture of your notebook to turn it in on Seesaw. Make sure you hit that green check mark.